All right, 5-6 is solving polynomials using synthetic division in the remainder theorem. So we just talked about factoring to solve polynomials. Sometimes you cannot factor naturally with just a given method. Sometimes you have to use division to factor. So if I were to ask you to find the x-intercepts here, you could see that there is no GCF. There's not the difference or subtraction, the difference or addition of two perfect cubes or squares. There isn't, well, there's grouping, but there's an x squared here and there's nothing here. That's not going to work. There's nothing you can do. But if I tell you one of the factors, are you able to find the other? So you can use long division to do this. Okay, I'll show you long division, which we've done before. So it's x squared, or x cubed minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 6. And when you do long division, you will see that you'll have a remainder of 0. So this is a factor. So you'll get x minus 1 times x squared minus x minus 6. Can we keep breaking it down? If we can't, you'd have to use a quadratic formula. One's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. The bigger one's going to be negative. It's going to be negative 3 and 2. So your answers are 1, negative 2, and 3. So you could use long division to find your answer, or let's skip. You could have used what's called synthetic division. Now we've said this came from Paolo Ruffini, who was a mathematician in the 1700s. This is called Ruffini's rule. But I think textbook companies just changed the name to synthetic division because synthetic means fake. It's a lot easier than saying that. But either way, if x minus 1 is your factor, then we just stated at the end of your chapter 5 notes that 1 would be a solution. So here's your solution. We're going to put it in a little box, okay? And we're going to use the coefficients. 1x cubed. If there wasn't a number here, we'd put 0, but there is, so we're going to put negative 2. And when I say there isn't a number, you should have a placeholder for each descending order. So you set up the coefficients. Now you drop the first number and work with it. 1 times 1 is 1. Drop the next row. So negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Drop those numbers, you get negative 6. 1 times negative 6 is negative 6. Your remainder is 0. So that means it is a factor. You got a remainder of 0. So you're left with a remainder of 0, a constant, an x, and x squared. So you're left with x squared minus 1x minus 6, which is what we had up here. And then you keep factoring, so your answers are 1, negative 2, and 3. Okay? So there's a you try on your own. So normally in class, I'd be like, okay, guys, you try, raise your hand for a sticker, then check and help somebody. So that's what you would do here. If 2 is a 0 or a solution, go ahead and solve. So I'm going to give you a minute, pause the video, try doing it yourself, okay? 1, negative 3, 0, and 4. Since there isn't a number in front of x, there's no x, you just put 0. Okay. So you drop the 1, 2 times 1 is 2. Drop the next numbers, negative 3 and 2 is negative 1. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, negative 2, negative 4, 0. So you're left with x squared minus x minus 2. Okay, and they want to know the x-intercepts. The x-intercepts are 2. Then you keep factoring. And you get 2 again, and negative 1. Okay. All right. Synthetic division also comes in handy to find remainders or values of the function. Consider the polynomial function. Divide that polynomial by x minus 3. What's the remainder? So you're going to use long division. You're going to get a remainder. Then you're going to use synthetic division and get a remainder. What is it? You got a remainder of -8. So that means x minus 3 is not a factor, but it also means that if I take -3 x squared plus 5x plus 4 and I substitute it, you'll get the same thing. Okay, so synthetic division is also substitution. Okay, work on the homework. People have been good about messaging me saying, could you go over this homework if you make a video for it? Absolutely. So I have a few problems. I'll give it till Wednesday and then I'll make a video. Okay.